I wanted to take you through this three-play sequence that I cut up from the LSU-Ole Miss game this past weekend that kind of shows the cat and mouse game between these two teams, especially the Ole Miss defense and the LSU offense. So Ole Miss's game plan on defense was kind of simple, right? They're going to play a lot of two high coverages, and they're going to try to play tight to routes underneath so they can eliminate stuff vertically while contesting things underneath and being sticky. So there are a handful of ways to do that, right? You can play different variations of quarters, matched quarters, press quarters, brackets, all that stuff. But you can also play a lot of two-man, especially on passing downs. So what that means is you're going to have two deep defenders, man coverage underneath, right? These two guys eyeing the running back. Whichever side he releases to, I think they take him. Whichever side he doesn't, you rush. So that's sort of the idea in coverage. But, you know, it's hard from this alignment right here, when this guy is in a cut split, to take anything underneath. So a lot of the time against man coverage, whether it's cover one or two man in these situations, they're going to cut this split and they're going to send this guy underneath, right? Because this guy has to be high and outside because of the cut split, so he would have to chase him. He's in a bad position to do that. So LSU, multiple times in this game, was kind of their favorite play this past week, called this dagger mesh concept, right? We all know mesh, the two underneath routes, but the dagger, deep clear out, deep dig. So you notice how spaced out all these alignments are. It allows these guys to easily kind of be sticky, not be forced into these traffic situations where they have to kind of fight through guys. They can easily track their guy. So this is a play LSU had. That's the case in every situation except for this guy, right? Because he's high and outside. He can't really track this shallow very well. So what Ole Miss does against cut splits in two-man, certainly at least in this game, is that they give this corner what is called an undercall, right? So if this guy heads underneath, he can push this to the safety who's in better position to drive on this. So he can just yell, some teams yell under, some teams yell shallow, whatever. So he can make the call, push it to this guy, he can drive it, and then the corner will assume the safety's position in deep half. So basically, if this guy heads underneath, these two guys trade responsibilities, and he becomes the man-to-man defender on this guy, and he becomes the deep half defender. So as you'll be able to see here, that's what plays out, right? They push it underneath. Everybody's tight to their routes. They can contest everything, and they get the PBU. So what happens next time? They're going to send the same motion from 2x2 into 3x1, right? So you have the motion. The number one receiver here is still in a cut split, right? So if he heads underneath, you push this to this guy, and you go take him deep half, right? Go take his deep half job. So if you see to the top here, LSU's in a different formation. LSU's in this sort of semi-wide bunch on the hash, tighter to the formation than everybody was previously, right? And so what that allows is the clear out route from the point man to get up and over more directly. It also forces all these guys to be a little bit less tight to the route because they have to deal with the traffic, right? So it gives you leverage for this up and over, but what it really does is it exploits the under rule. So he's going to head under. It's the same call, right? Same concept, same dagger mesh. So he is going to run he's going to get out to number 1 and then run underneath. And then he is going to run the dig. So what happens as this plays out is that he sees that he goes under. He pushes the under to the safety here, who drives on it, right? So 9 is then going to have to try to take deep half. But because of the positioning of the split to the top, LSU is able to run this fast behind him. He's not in great position to get back in time. And so what LSU is going to do is they're just going to key him, and they're going to throw the alert on that clear out. And it's open. It gets behind him. Huge play. Can't have that if you're Ole Miss, right? So then we get to the third play later in the game. Same motion, same wide bunch. And so what they're going to do is they're going to get rid of the undercall. They've canned it. So they've gotten to the sideline and they're like, they're exploiting this. We can't give up that deep clear out anymore. So we're going to get rid of the undercall. And so you can see here, right here, pre-snap, you can see the corner telling the safety to stay if this guy heads underneath, right? Which he's going to. So if we play this out, he heads underneath. So instead of pushing this to the safety, he takes the shallow so that this guy is here to take this. Better position. He's high and outside. He can cut this off really easily. But remember why the undercall exists in the first place, right? He's not in position. The corner is not in good position to track this because he's outside of it because of the cut split. So what Nussmeier does is he sees that the safety is still deep. He sees that the safety is still deep, and so he knows that the undercall is gone because they're in the same coverage. And as a result, he skips right down to the shallow that he knows is not going to be in good position. And he takes it. So it's a really cool example of not just, schematic cat and mouse, but the ability of the quarterback to adjust his read on the fly, right? Instead of having this pre-prescribed 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 progression, he's able to kind of key in on the coverages and attack these different things, right? So if we go to the end zone copy, you can kind of see his eyes, right? Now watch his eyes, right? He's expecting the same coverage. He's going right to that clear out again, sees that it's not there, sees that he's not going to make the undercall, and goes right down to the shallow. It's high-level quarterbacking, it's high-level play calling on both sides of the ball, from both the OC and the DC. And it's just a cool little microcosm of what kind of complexity we have going on, even in the game, right? These kind of on-the-fly adjustments, these different rules to your coverages. It's a lot of cool stuff. And it was a game where both teams really gave their best shot and threw their best stuff out there and got really specific with it because they had to win, and it was LSU that did.